Coming up on Broncos Weekend, there's a new buzz in Denver after beating the Chiefs. What does it mean for the second half of the season?
You get to know your team a little bit more. I like what I've seen.
Russell Wilson is back playing at an elite level, and he has this offense in a groove.
It was a heavyweight fight, we felt like, and we came out on top.
And what's caused the defensive 180? This unit's come a long way since the start of the year.
To, go what we've been through and to, finish out a game like that, a big divisional game is huge.
It's the bye week, but there's no slowing us down. Broncos Weekend starts right now. Hello, and thank you for joining us here on Broncos Weekend. I am Phil Milani alongside the Hall of Famer, Steve Atwater, and Super Bowl 50 champ, Ryan Harris. It's the bye week. It's come exactly at the halfway point of the season. Steve, after beating the Chiefs, where does this Broncos team stand?
Well, I think they're in a good place right now, knowing that they beat the defending Super Bowl champion, a team that has had their number for several years now, has had our number. I'm a part of this too. So I'm really happy for the guys. Their confidence level has had to have taken a boost after the win. The effort was great. The playmaking was great. They had a level of physicality that I hadn't seen in a while from this team. And if we continue to play this way, there are going to be some good things in store for this team.
And you always want to head into a bye week with a win, right? Because that's a long time, 10 days. You're pretty much not going to be learning about a new opponent. So you want to have that feeling of, hey, we were successful. How can we get better? And that's exactly where the Broncos are. Fantastic to get that win in front of the home crowd, too. Not only to beat the Chiefs since back when I was playing and I had hair, but also to give something to the fans. So just a total victory for Broncos country, for the players, and now a ton of confidence moving into now it's going to be the second half of the season.
And Ryan, does it feel like this team has turned a corner now?
They turned the corner in terms of want to, absolutely. I mean, that's what we saw against Kansas City. They wanted to win that game. They were not going to be denied. And that's a choice that you have to make, not in the game, but on Wednesday and Thursday as you're getting ready. So a very different attitude than they played with early on in the season.
And Steve, they said that they had the best practice of the entire year on Wednesday before that game.
Yeah, that's not surprising because they played that way. They played with a ton of confidence. They played mistake-free football for a majority of the game, and that's exactly what it takes. And Sean Payton talked about that early in the year, cutting out the mistakes, not beating themselves, and they did a great job of doing that, and hopefully this can continue going forward.
Yeah, 5 takeaways against the Chiefs, but still, guys, they dug themselves a little bit of a hole here. Starting 0-3, they're 3-5, but all you want from this team, Ryan, is progress, improvement every week.
Absolutely, and it starts with the run game. My goodness, they had, I got it written down, 32 called runs and 40 total runs. That's how you win in the NFL. Hello. So seeing those steps being taken, not just by players, which there's been tremendous improvement by individual players, absolutely. Also the coaching staff, they have improved. They've improved the play calling, the commitment to the run. I mean, Steve and I know sometimes you're in those games, coaches want to pass. Oh, we know this defense is going to be out there. No, run the ball, inflict your will on your opponent, and you have the running backs to do that. So just a huge stepping stone in that last game, running the ball, 32 called runs, 40 total. I mean, that's the formula for success. Run the ball and convert on third down.
You sound like an offensive lineman.
Hey, I say, and the champion. You didn't see Steve disagreeing with it.
I'm with you.
I know how to win. Let's touch the rings and let them know.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Touch the rings and let them know.
Right?
Yeah, I agree with that 100% because when you get the run game going, that opens everything else up. If you can't get the run game going, hey, you're going to have a long day. So I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, I mean, as a safety, if they're running the ball, that's eventually human nature. It's going to be the first key that the safety's looking for.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, one misstep, you can go over the top of it.
They were definitely the more physical team against the Chiefs. And Sean Payton said, hey, the Broncos, they're not a finished product right now, but after beating KC, he said this team is starting to come together.
I think we're learning a little bit more about each other. I think a team can build an identity, and I think we're kind of in that journey right now, and I was pleased for them today, though. I was because they had a good week of work, and That doesn't always equate to a win in our league, but it gives you a chance.
And that running game is obviously helping Russell Wilson too, Ryan, because Russ seems like he's back to the guy that the Broncos thought they were getting when they made that trade.
Well, absolutely, because he can get you out. He can convert you a third down. He can get you out of bad situations, but he also needs help. I mean, every quarterback needs help, and the best way to help your quarterback is with the run game. You know, we don't want to have Russell Wilson passing 40 times, 35 times to win a game. Hey, do whatever it takes to win, but you need to have the idea and the mentality as an offense of, hey, we're going to grind it out. We're going to win on first and second down, and then, yeah, we'll put it in our future Hall of Famers' hands in Russell Wilson and let him convert the ball. And again, individual players have decided to improve, and that's on the coaching staff really pushing these guys in practice, in meetings. Hey, there's more that you can give. We demand it.
And one of those guys, Steve, is Cortland Sutton. I mean, before this season, they talked about returning to that 2019 form when he was a Pro Bowler. He seems to be on his way to doing that again.
Yeah, he's on his way to doing that. He's catching just about every ball that comes his way, and he's making those 50-50 catches, like, well, what they call them, 80-20?
Yeah, 80-20. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. He's making the big plays when he needs to. When his number is being called, he's answering. And that's something that this team needs. They need receivers that are reliable. Jerry Jeudy, same thing, coming out, had a really good game. We got to continue this, though. This is just the start of something very big.
For me, the biggest thing with Cortland Sutton, he's confident that he's getting the ball on each and every play. I mean, that's something as a receiver. Not only do you have to run your route and understand the coverage, but expect the ball. And it looks very different when you're watching the film. Cortland Sutton expects the ball every play. Now, and he's not getting upset if he doesn't do it, but he is running with the expectation that he is getting the football, and that's a drastic change too.
Yeah, got to have that confidence at that position. Before the game against the Chiefs, Russell Wilson said this is a measuring stick type of a game, and after the win, he talked about what they learned.
We set the standard today by how good we can be, and you know we've got a lot more season left. I've been saying to you guys, it's a process, it's a journey, but we believe. We believe in who we are. We believe in the players that we have. We believe in the coaching staff that we have. We believe in the determination, resilience that we have. We believe in just this organization and where we can go and what we can do, and we're going to stay the course.
The defense also played its best game of the season against the Chiefs, and it started up front, getting after Patrick Mahomes. Here's Denver 7's Troy Rank on the Broncos' rejuvenated pass rush.
As we sit here basically at the halfway point of the season, there's reason for hope for the Broncos. They've won 2 straight games. Part of that turnaround is the remarkable rebound by the defense, and it's amplified by this impressive pass rush. If we go back to early in the season, those first 3 games, the Broncos ranked dead last in pass rush win rate. They move on from Randy Gregory. They move on from Frank Clark. They create playing time for younger players and the return of Baron Browning. So you put Baron Browning with Nick Bonito and Jonathan Cooper, now you got something. This pass rush has absolutely written a diary of havoc these past 2 games, led by Baron Browning. Against the Chiefs, they couldn't block him on Twitter. He's throwing guys off with a power move. He's getting strip sacks. He's doing what looked like the Carlton dance. This is what he brings: energy, attitude, intellect. Teammates have said that he has helped change the defense. Zach Allen told me that he is the most impressive pass rusher he's ever played with. And remember, Allen played with J.J. Watt. He played with Hassan Reddick. It speaks to the talent of Browning's game. I will say I see shades of Von Miller in watching Browning these last 2 games. Before the season, he was ready to have this huge breakout year. Remember, as a rookie, Browning was an inside linebacker. They moved him to outside last year, and he showed promise. He put on weight in his legs. He was getting stronger for the role, and then unfortunately, he tears his MCL. He misses all of training camp, but now that he's back, you can see how the puzzle pieces fit because you got Bonito. He has one of the best first steps in the league. He's on pace, people don't realize, for 11.5 sacks. Jonathan Cooper, he's on pace for 8+ sacks. So you've got something going here. You've got a team that's now getting after the quarterback. And how are these pieces fitting? Because they're running the football, they're taking the air out of it, and playing with the lead. When you do that, that is a pass rusher's best friend because teams then have to throw when they have to, not when they want to. And that's when you put the ball in harm's way. But this pass rush under Vance Joseph is all starting to come together. And it starts with Browning, because he's not just a pass rusher. He's winning at a rate at 25% in these 2 games. That's Micah Parsons type productivity. But he's winning in a way that causes havoc, that creates turnovers. The Broncos have been one of the best in takeaways over the last month. It starts with that pass rush. It starts with those 3 guys, Bonitto, Cooper, and most specifically, Baron Browning. Let's see where it goes the second half of the season. But Broncos country, a reason to be optimistic, because we are seeing a pass rush that's getting after it.
Thank you very much, Troy. Time for a quick break here. When we come back, we'll hear from Justin Simmons, and he'll explain how the defense has turned things around. Plus, we'll have our bold predictions for the second half of the year. That's next on Broncos Weekend.
Play fake for Fields. He's going to be hit. The ball's knocked free. It bounces around. Jonathan Cooper scoops it up. And here we go. 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Denver. Yes, sir. Nick Bonitto caused the fumble. And Jonathan Cooper with the Broncos' first defensive touchdown of the year.
The Coop and Score, definitely the top defensive play of the year so far. We are back here on Broncos Weekend. Phil Milani alongside Steve Atwater and Ryan Harris. Guys, the defense, it looks like a completely different unit than that Dolphins game for sure. What's led to this turnaround, Steve?
Well, they've improved at each level, it seems like. The defensive line, they've been getting pressure. They've been containing quarterbacks in the pocket. The edge rushers have been getting pressure on the quarterbacks. The linebackers, Josie Jewell, Alex Singleton, and also Drew Sanders, flying around making tackles all over the field. And, of course, the secondary, Justin Simmons back in the mix, Jaquan McMillan stepping up, making big plays. They're making plays all over the field. Everybody's making plays, too. It's not just one person. It's everybody. They're taking turns making plays, and it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, and Justin Simmons, Steve mentioned it. That's the difference to me. I mean, he is a leader, a multiple-time Walter Payton Man of the Year award winner here. And when he's on the field, quarterbacks know. They understand where he is. But not only that, his teammates, his fellow defenders know where they can take risks, because they know Justin Simmons will always be in the right spot. Alex Singleton, to me, has been a big piece of this as well. He's starting to make far more one-on-one tackles in open space. He's worked to add that to his game. And then you have defensive players. Cooper's one of them. You know, we just talked about Browning, but they're starting to come along as well. So this is a defense that has their leader in Justin Simmons, and it's permeating all the way to that line of scrimmage.
Well, it's become a little bit of a joke around here that Justin Simmons loves to talk about communication. But he says it's not just media talk.
You know, I'm not just coming up here and saying communication each and every week just so it sounds good. That's really the number one thing you work on. And I think if you go and you watch the tape and you look at the communication and you look at busted coverages or coverages that look like, man, they're on top of it, it all comes down to communication and how you see it and how you guys work in harmony together. And so I honestly think that was kind of the turning point. Is almost like, okay, hey, you got to work at this each and every week, and communication has to be at all-time high.
The Broncos will look to keep the momentum going after the bye week. And it's time for our key stats. Sean Payton is 9-6 all-time following the bye, but things have improved recently. He's won 5 of the last 6, and he learned a new approach to the bye week after some solid advice from a friendly foe.
Andy Reid was in Philadelphia, and I called Andy up, and I said, you know, what are you doing? Andy was like 9-0 after the bye. And Andy said, look, you know, I get them out of here after Monday. And if they win the game, sometimes I don't even have them come in Monday. And I said, what about the coaches? He said, I do the same thing. We started doing that in New Orleans and started having some success.
Let's hear some bold predictions, not about a game this time, but Steve, for the second half of the season.
Well, I think we've started something special here. And I'm going to make a bold prediction and say that our final 9 games, this team will go 7-2.
Woo!
7-2. That's a bold prediction.
Okay,
it can happen starting from this point.
I like it. Okay, so 10-7 on the year.
10-7 on the year.
I like it. For me, the bold predictions, you're going to see far more Marvin Mims than we have. And I think he surprised everyone on the team, including the coaches, with his ability and speed at receiver to show up and to be in the right spot. They didn't have time to create some plays and formations that accentuate what he can do well. They're going to do that this bye week. and they're going to come back with some new plays, new formations, and I think Marvin Mims is going to play a big role moving forward in that 7-2 stretch that Steve says the Broncos going to have.
Some bold predictions for the second half. Well, confidence is at an all-time high right now for the Broncos after beating the Chiefs. Let's go into the locker room post-game, a celebratory locker room for the Broncos.
We knew they're a great team, right? And they've been winning these games over the past couple of years and stuff like that. We knew if we needed to change this season around and change everything around, we need to get after them. And winning at home is a huge part about it too. But yeah, we wanted to come out with that energy and that swag to us, and I feel like we did that.
Every week we go into the game thinking that we're finna win, but as the Broncos country, knowing the history behind this game, I know it's a special moment for them, and I hope everybody enjoys it.
You could just tell this was a team win collectively. We was all bought in to the game, all bought in during the week, and it showed out there on the field. Just how bought in we was and how focused we was on the task at hand.
3-5. We're what, 4, 5, 7 points away from being 5-3. So but this team doesn't quit. We got dogs in this room from top to bottom.
Time for our final break. When we come back, we look ahead to facing the Bills and our old friend Von Miller. Plus, Sidney Jones highlights 2 rookies getting set to make a huge impact the second half of the season. That's next on Broncos Weekend.
Loads it up, home run ball. He's got Mims. Mims is there. He's at the 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Denver. 60-yard strike. Russell Wilson to the speedster, the rookie out of Oklahoma.
Marvin Mims Jr. showing off his speed there. Our top offensive play through 8 games. Mims and fellow rookie Jaleel McLaughlin have earned plenty of snaps. For more on the 2 rookies, here's Sidney Jones.
Thanks, Phil. Running back Jaleel McLaughlin and wide receiver Marvin Mims Jr. have shined so far in their rookie campaign. So let's start by taking a look at Jaleel McLaughlin. He's made his name known throughout Broncos country this year as he saw playing time early with Javonte Williams still working his way back from injury. And the undrafted rookie already has 38 carries for 268 yards and 1 rushing touchdown. He's averaging 7.1 yards per carry, which ranks second in the league among all NFL players with at least 30 carries. And the run game has become a focal point of this Broncos offense as Jaleel has formed a solid 1-2 punch with Javonte Williams in the backfield. And not only has he seen time in the ground game, but he's also been involved in the passing game, specifically the screen game. Overall, he's recorded 12 receptions for 65 yards and 2 touchdowns. And with that, Jaleel became just the 7th Broncos rookie since 2000 to record at least 1 rushing and 1 receiving touchdown in the same season. Now let's take a look at wide receiver Marvin Mims Jr. We saw how explosive he can be in the passing game early this season and has been a consistent force in the Broncos' return game. Looking at his statistics, so far this season he's recorded 11 receptions for 246 yards, which averages out to 22.4 yards per reception. And he leads the league in that category among all players with at least 10 receptions. His best outing of the season came back in week 2 versus the Commanders, in which he had 2 50-plus yard catches, one of those for a touchdown, and a 45-yard punt return, becoming the first Bronco in the 6th NFL rookie since 2009 to tally 3 plays of 45-plus yards in a single game. He's also stepped up big in the return game for the Broncos this season, averaging 34 yards in kickoff returns and 20.3 yards in punt returns, and both of those rank first in the NFL. Truly an impressive start to the season for these rookies, and I'm excited to see what's in store for them the rest of the season. And that, of course, will start after the bye week. Phil, I'll send it back to you.
Thank you very much, Sidney. We're back here at the desk. Ryan, you mentioned Mims too for the second half here. How do these guys avoid hitting a rookie wall?
Well, number 1, hydrate, right? Number 2, take care of your body. And I remember a veteran when I was a rookie saying, take care of your body, take care of your body. First few weeks of the season, I'm like, I don't know what he's talking about. Get to week 7 and 8, my shoulders hurt, my legs hurt. Oh, I need to get massaged. I need to get in the hot tub. So it really starts with taking care of your body. Nutrition's a big part of that, but stay hydrated. Take care of your body, and then continue to listen. I mean, one of the things, even when I was in my 10th year in the NFL, I was still taking notes. How can I improve on this block? What can I improve on understanding this play? So continue to find a way to learn in the NFL if you're Marvin Mims, because that's going to lead to more production.
I agree 100%. Both of those things are extremely important. taking care of your body. It is a longer season than when you were in college, and also leaning on the veterans. For Marvin Mims, hey, Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, even Rod Smith, a guy who's around the organization quite a bit, great wide receiver for the organization. And then for Jaleel McLaughlin, hey, Terrell Davis, he's here. He's here if you want to reach out to him. And also you got Javonte Williams, who came back from a horrific injury, and also Samaje Perine, who has a ton of experience in this league. So he has the resources. He just has to take advantage of them.
Yeah.
Both of them.
Get some advice for sure. As we wrap up here, guys, a week away now, but the Broncos definitely want to keep things rolling against the Buffalo Bills.
Most definitely. We know it's going to be a tough game in Buffalo Monday night, but we got to show up. And I would say whatever the guys did to get ready for this Kansas City Chiefs game, do the exact same thing when you're preparing for the Buffalo Bills. You can go into Buffalo and come out of there with the victory. Don't focus on the victory, though. Focus on playing one play at a time, full speed to the whistle.
And Hope, by the way, you can study the Bills during your bye week. That's allowed. It's not against the law to study against your next opponent. And let me tell you what, the champions in that locker room, they're doing that. They're watching the film on the flight to wherever they're going, or in the car ride wherever they're going. You don't need permission to study your opponent. So take this bye week, get off your feet, absolutely. And you're lucky you get some extra time to prepare for one of the best teams in the AFC. You talk about a litmus test. Go ahead and beat the Chiefs and then the Bills in Buffalo. And now you can really start talking about turning things around and who can beat us and go on that 7-2 stretch. So start early. Get that jump on the film. The answers are out there.
Yeah. And the Bills got a tough one this week facing the Bengals. So they'll be coming off of a tough game. And then, big Monday night game over there in Orchard Park. All right, well, that's going to do it for us. For Troy Rank and Sidney Jones and us here at the desk, Ryan Harris, thank you very much. I like that orange tie, man.
Oh, hey, man, got to.
Good.
Victory Monday. It's a victory tie, you know?
That's right.
It's Steve Atwater. I am Phil Milani. Thank you so much for watching Broncos Weekend.